It is the fall real estate market. The leaves are falling. They're beautiful. However, we hear that the prices are falling and sales are falling. What does that mean for you? What does it mean for the future of real estate in 2022? And could this be a trend going into 2023? Hi, everyone. I'm Katharine Loucaidou. I'm a broker owner of the Katharine Loucaidou Real Estate Group, and I am here with my wonderful team partner, Elizabeth Stokes. Liz,
hello.
Hello. So Yay. We are here today because we are going to be talking about the real estate market. We're going to cover Toronto, the GTA, and of course, Liz is a specialist in the Muskoka area. She lives, works, and plays there. That's her playground. So she is going to be giving you the update on what's been going on out in beautiful lake and cottage country, but also anyone thinking of just moving for more fresh air, more space, and so many other reasons. So welcome.
Thank you.
Liz, do you think, what shall we do? Shall we just start with the Toronto and GTA and then we'll just keep moving further north?
Let's start there because that's where a lot of your clients and my clients come from.
So here's what's going on in the Toronto and the GTA housing market right now. People are still adjusting to the higher lending rates. And we do know that there is a possible another lending rate hike coming out on October 26th. We don't know if it's the second last one or the last one, but let's not worry about the rate right now. Let's concentrate on what the housing prices are doing. The sales in September for the Toronto and GTA area were actually down by 44%. So that is not the prices, that is the number of sales happening are down 44%. Since September of 2021, new listings. So anyone who is thinking of putting their house on the market in September last month, this was down 16.7%. So people are really going back and forth on whether they want to be putting their houses for sale or not at the current time. Average price of a home in Toronto and the GTA, meaning the 416 and the 905 area codes, dropped by 4.3%. So now the average of a home in Toronto is $1,086,000. Down 4.3%. So Liz, we know that October typically is the peak of the real estate fall market. Tell us what you're seeing right now in Muskoka, because would you say that that's typically a very busy time for you up there as well?
Traditionally, it has been. I mean, we always have people moving into the area for a variety of reasons and not just cottaging because we're so much more than that. But overall, when I look this year, compared to last year, without boring everybody with numbers, but we have to look at waterfront and non-waterfront listings.
Yes.
So for non-waterfront listings, and this is all of Muskoka, so that's Lake of Bays, Huntsville, Gravenhurst, Bracebridge, Muskoka Lakes, we're down about a third.
So is that in sales?
Number of sales.
Okay, perfect.
In number of sales. Mm-hmm. But unlike down south, our price, median sales price or average sale price is still up.
That's interesting.
Roughly $50,000 in non-waterfront, but over $100,000 on waterfront properties. So prices are still holding and still reflecting, and that's this September over last.
So it's still indicating that it is a very popular market still. People are still moving out of the city toward the more suburb areas. And, I found this similar because, I do concentrate and specialize in the Caledon market. And I did notice the same thing is that although the number of sales are down 44%, there was a very, very small difference in the average home price from September of last year. Yeah. And the Toronto market actually did have a slight increase from August to September. So that was interesting as well for this year. I think it's just that fall market kicking off.
I think it is too. And what we have here quite often coming into the fall are the families that when it comes to the cottage market, quite often we start seeing them saying, okay, no, this was our last year. Let's, nobody wants it. It's time to get a new family. So we do see that happening. Sometimes we get people thinking, well, fall's the time I'm going to get all these deals. And, the numbers are showing, no, the price is holding its own.
Right.
Definitely.
Right.
And people also have to remember we're more than just a summer area.
Yes. And why don't you talk about that a little? I think that's really important to know that it's not just cottage country anymore, is it?
Well, it isn't. I mean, I profess I live, work, and play here. And because of the expansion, let's say, even of internet, of home based businesses, of people being able to work remotely, they're choosing a lifestyle for their families over being in the city and just coming to the cottage on the weekend. So
Yeah.
we are seeing some of that for sure. But there's so much more that goes on in the shoulder seasons.
Right.
There's so many places to hike, to snowshoe. There's the snowmobile trails. Some of the main trails for the province come through this way. So there's always something going on.
What I'd love to hone in on for a moment is the fact that typically in a market where the sales are down and we're noticing a shift, we do see changes in the luxury market. However, you and I have both experienced that this isn't necessarily the case right now. We showed a beautiful lakefront property a few weeks ago, and it was very well north of 5 million. And had we put in an offer, we were going to be in competition with someone else, which means that right now it just seems to be that this halt or pause is really mortgage and interest related. And maybe what we can assure people is there are always going to be buyers.
Oh, definitely.
And not to be afraid to sell your home, because when you sell low, you're buying low. When you sell high, as people over the last year have realized, you're also buying high.
Yes. No, there's definitely that. I mean, in some cases, we've seen the numbers in specific categories drop for the number of sales, year over year. And we're seeing that especially this year. But I think that's reflective of people, as you say, with the interest rates and wanting to move out of that panic to move out of the city has now slowed. There are still people out looking. Absolutely.
Yes.
Because I think what the last little while's taught us is our lifestyle and family is far more important than the rat race.
Absolutely. And I think people really are looking for that extra space, both interior and exterior. And they don't mind being out of the city. They don't mind the commute because we can work from home. Remote is a possibility. I mean, here we are remotely giving this market update. I'm here in Caledon, you're in Muskoka. Everything is possible these days.
Yes. And a lot of my clients come out of the city and we do exactly this. We video conference, we do a lot of calls. So we get a lot of things done ahead of time. So when they're already coming up here, they've got a really good feeling for what's going on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So there you have it. The numbers are what they are. Sales are down, but really the price, it's just shifting certain categories of homes, certain pockets. There are still pockets that are getting multiple offers. There are pockets that are slower. Liz, what would you say you believe is this trend now toward the end of the year and maybe, going into January, February? Where do you think this is going, especially in your area?
I mean, I do think it might be a little bit slower on the sales, but there are people out looking. What they are doing, though, is they are getting more of their education, doing more research ahead of time.
Yes.
So they want to make sure that this move that they're doing works for them. Now that they feel that that push and pressure to buy is off, they're going back to being a more informed buyer. I know for a seller, that's a little bit more difficult to sort of adjust that thought to, simply because they're going, well, but my neighbor sold in 7 days.
Yeah.
Right now we're looking about a month from list to a firm deal.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean anything's wrong with the property. It just means people are wanting to be comfortable with the choices and decisions they're making.
Well, let's not forget that this is actually how real estate was done before 2018, was houses were on the market for 30, 40, 50 days. That was a normal days on the market. There were conditions, in the offers. So we are simply going back to what is typically a normal, balanced real estate market. Right now, rather than saying shift, maybe we should just call it a correction, because it was inflated for the last 2 years. And now we're
Yes.
just correcting what's been going on.
Yeah, it's just adjusting itself back to the norm. But if you look, so the last 2 years, 2021, 2020, if you look at where the curve was coming from the 2018 into 2019, remove 2020, 2021,
Yes.
2022 is just picking up on the natural curve
Yes.
from 2019.
Exactly. 100%. And the numbers show that, right? So let's
Yes.
make this clear. None of this is our opinion. It's all the numbers that we have analyzed over the last few days. And we came up with numbers, as they say, tell a story. Numbers show a trend of what's going on. All you do is interpret what you see on that curve. And that's exactly it. Take
And
2019, take that curve, and we
yeah,
will go up again. This is just the correction, and that's the phase we're in right now. We hope that this has been informative for you. Do follow our website. We do post the latest market updates every single month at CatharineLoucaidougroup.com. Feel free to reach out to Liz in the Muskoka area. Any questions you have, if you're even thinking whether it's a good time, if you happen to have a property up there, maybe you've been thinking about selling it, maybe you've been thinking about upsizing or downsizing it, Liz is your woman. And if you need any help in Toronto, the GTA, the Caledon areas, I am here for you. We're here to answer your questions, because really that's what it's all about. It's just making an informed decision about what's best for you and your families. Well, everyone, happy Thanksgiving. We hope you really enjoy this time together. And I know that we're grateful to have
definitely.
you watching as clients, possibly as future clients. We wish you all the best, and we will see you again next month.
Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, everyone.